The piece of shit motherfucker. The Turning, sorry, The Turning is directed by Floria Sigismondi and is stars Mackenzie Davis, Finn Wolfhard, and Jolie Richardson, among others, and is based on the modern adaptation of the 1898 ghost story called The Turn of the Screw. And in this film, it deals with a young woman who is a teacher that ends up going to take care of these kids at this estate where these two children, played by Finn Wolfhard and this other girl named Brooklyn Prince, and she basically takes care of them there, and she has to watch over them after their parents' deaths, and
Basically,
yeah. And essentially, while she's there, the kids are pretty much, as you see from the trailers, they seem like they're kind of like a special case kind of kids where they kind of they kind of get into some trouble and try to they like to basically play pranks on people and stuff. And she starts to notice some weird shit happening with them pulling pranks on her, and then we learn, as we see in a lot of other typical ghost films, that there's basically something going on with some supernatural stuff. Now, keep in mind, this is going to contain some major spoilers, so if you have not seen the film, you will be definitely warned with this. But
yeah, I promise you ain't missing shit.
Yeah,
Because you got what you got in trailers, plus worse if you see the fucking movie.
yeah. Now, here's a little backstory. Now, this is a film that, once again, a film that comes out in January that is considered a dump month of supernatural horror films. And as we see with a lot of horror films that come out in January, they always tend to be bad. And with this movie coming out, I really honestly say that from the first trailers at first, I will give it this. I kind of figured that maybe they would have done, because from the trailers that I got, it seemed like it was kind of going for maybe a kind of hard R, maybe a R-rated type of approach of a ghost story that we haven't seen. And when I saw the rating for it coming out, I was already fucking questioning, because I was like, oh, another PG-13 horror film that's a ghost movie.
Yeah. You guys know, if you've seen the past of our reviews, we're not the biggest fucking fans of PG-13 horror films. There's especially paranormal films. Not all horror films PG-13 are bad, but the ones who are focused on paranormal are almost always bad. I hate to say it. I mean, we just keep fucking cramming them, and they're shit, and we're just gonna keep on doing it until we suffer for everybody who don't like these type of movies. But we do, and we go give everyone a chance, and we never fucking fail. It's always fucking bad. When I saw the trailers to this, I did like the whole creepy music vibe they were going with in the trailers. And I will say that with the kids, not only do they play pranks, but they also, you could tell Finhart's kind of playing like a kid who's really mean. So I was like, this could be interesting concept.
Yeah,
I'm all down.
Yeah,
I'm all down for kid movies.
Yes, and I like Finn Wolfhard as an actor, and while he does seem like he's been basically typecast since he's been playing in Stranger Things when he's done other roles like in It and It Chapter 2 and all that. It still was interesting, at least from the trailers I got, that he was playing more of a troublemaker type of kid in this, and so I was given the benefit of the doubt upon watching it. And while not to jump the gun here, but I will say that while he is one of the things that I do kind of like about the movie, and it is definitely good to see him kind of do a different type of, kind of a different type of role than what he's used to doing, this film suffers not only from its generic story, but also upon everything else with it. It is way worse than I thought it was going to be, even upon seeing it. And we'll get into it later, but let's just say that it has to do mainly with the fucking ending and the way it basically goes along with the whole story. But first, before we get into that, to get some pros out of the way, I will say that the kids.
Well, first, say my theory of this movie. Upon seeing the film myself, it is generic. The generic C is probably the highest praise I could say. And this is the first time I would ever say that while we got good performances, that I absolutely hated this movie, and it ended up being worse than what we were given.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and like he said, that fucking ending is, wow, what the
Yeah.
fucking ending. That's
Well,
like one of the worst things in horror film history, or any
yes.
fucking movie. So we'll get into our pros real quick. Like, you start with your pros.
So with some of my pros, I will say that the two main kids, Finn Wolfhard and also the girl, Brooklyn Prince, I thought that they actually were pretty good. They were the creepiness that Finn Wolfhard gives in this movie is pretty great. I like the way that he's playing more of a troublemaker type of kid, and the background, the backstory, they kind of give him to where he's basically, having trouble at school and stuff. It does work into them trying to be, giving a more vibe that these kids are very unsettling, like they're up to no good, so to speak. And I got to give really credit to the girl, Brooklyn Prince, as the girl. She was actually pretty good, and I thought that her playing as this, type of special case kind of kid was very it was authentic, it was very compelling, and I like the way that the movie was going along with her character and everything, and I think that in the future this kid might probably have a good career for her down the line.
Exactly. Wolf Finhard and the little girl were also my biggest praises of the film. When Wolf Finhard plays a good creep in this film, and he played something on the type of levels of like the kid from Blank Check that played that one movie,
Mike.
Mikey, and with some kind of more pure evilness, or like the Good Son with Macaulay Culkin.
Mm-hmm.
Very good choice. This guy could probably pull it off. I mean, he does some very unsettling shit, and the little girl laughing in the background brings up the unsettledness. And that little girl, I like her personality. I think she's gonna have a very good career if the way she gave her performance. I want to get all of my other pros out of the way real quick. The atmosphere, the gray look with the Victorian house works. That's it
Yeah.
for me.
I will say that with the atmosphere, I will say that the atmosphere alone, like the way it's secluded in this kind of like secluded house and stuff, and the Victorian type of house that they're in and everything, does really bring the whole vibe of the whole creepiness factor. And not, it's a bad comparison, but it reminded me on the same level as how Winchester, that movie from a couple years ago, looked, with it's like secluded house and the way it's shot inside and everything, and it puts you in that right kind of mindset.
Yeah.
Now, we'll also say, as a minor thing, well, actually, one of the biggest praises I have the most, to be honest, besides the kids' performance, is I actually have a soft spot for the score of the film. In a respectful way, I actually think that the score reminded me of something that possibly Danny Elfman would probably do, because it had this kind of score.
I'm 50-50 with the score, man, because really, while the score in the beginning, that the first half of the movie works, I do see the criticism of them changing tones with more rock and guitarish. Now, you can't tell me that fucking ending credits was out of fucking place.
It was, yes, it
Yeah, it
was.
looked like it looked like a damn music video to Queen of the Damned. What the fuck was that? It made no sense.
Yeah, we'll
But
get to that because that I agree that did look out of place as fuck. But I will say that for the most part, the score was giving me vibes of hearing like it was almost like in a way reminiscent of Danny Elfman's score for Sleepy Hollow in a good way. So I will give it that. So the movie did have some good cues that had that very haunting type of feel of it.
yeah,
But other than that,
fortunately, here's where we get to our cons. And this is going to be the first time you ever hear this from me, especially on any movie review I ever done. Because usually when we talk about epic fucking rants, we rant from beginning to end. This is the first time I ever seen something where we had about three pros, and when we now get to the cons, this cons is so bad, I kid you not. They literally took our pros, walked them out to the brinks, and shot every pro in the fucking head in a firing squad fashion. What the fuck? This destroyed any pros I had. Even though I still had pros, I gotta notice them.
Well,
this is where we get to the big rant.
before, well, I figured going in order wise, the biggest complaint we have is going to be with the ending. But let's just kind of work our way up, just to kind of give our fellow viewers some context. So,
Yeah.
where do we begin? Starting with our other cons first. Once again, it's a film that fucking struggles when it tries to make a fucking ghost movie. When you have a ghost movie, first of all, what is very inconsistent about this horror film is the fact that you have a psychological approach the film is trying to do with the kids trying to be like, pulling some weird shit around Mackenzie Davis throughout the film, and she's trying to, figure out what the fuck is going on and everything. While there could be some good potential there that the movie was kind of building upon, unfortunately, it's inconsistent because about I'd say about in the next hour or so, when it gets to the hour mark, it starts to become a traditional ghost film, and then we start seeing the weird fucking ghost stuff coming out of nowhere. That
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That being, I agree with you on that too. My first con is getting into how like it's the same tropes, ghost fucking stories, but that's not really the only complaint I have. This film is different from a lot of the generic bullshit ghost stories we fucking see. Now, when we get the ghost stories that do come into play, they do come off the same fucking tropes that we, but worse. And I will fucking bitch about the way they look here in a second. But
yeah,
anyway, it's weird because in ghost films, like I said, they're usually structured from beginning to end really, really bad. In this film, the ghost thing really does not come into play until, like he said, hour in the movie. So the first hour, it's more like a good son, but in more nanny-ish babysitting type level. So it's like two different movies. So tonally, this movie doesn't make any fucking sense because we got two different movies going on. We got a fucking paranormal shit, and then we got these kids are fucking unsettling shit. I want to see the kids unsettling shit, not the fucking paranormal shit. But as the movie structure goes along, it becomes rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I saw that scene before the next scene.
yeah. Because throughout of what's really bad is the fact that the pacing and the structure of it is all really rinse and repeat when this is happening. You have scenes where Mackenzie Davis is going through different places in typical ghost movie fashion, where she hears a noise, it turned out to be the kids doing something, and then that you see a fucking mile away because of the way the movie plans it out, and then this same type of structure is done repeatedly. And then when it does get to the whole ghost stuff later on, it still becomes uninteresting because all the ghost stuff that comes into play, spoilers, it has nothing to do with what's happening with the fucking kids.
It doesn't. It does not fucking have anything to do with the kids. In fact, there's no explanation why any of this fucking happened. And it's very blatantly obvious. Okay, it's about a fucking dude. It's about a nanny, previous now of the parents. They just died. They ain't even fucking in this. They're not even the ghosts. You expected this house to be haunted by family members? No. This is modern day shit. This house just suddenly decided to say, hey, I'm going to keep spirits in the house. So at the beginning of the movie, we get our fucking girl who dies and then a guy who dies off scene because he did some rapey shit. And this has a sexual tone to this movie throughout. That
Yeah.
he did something to the girl and he did something to Wolf. And other than that, it's no other explanation. So he is killed and he haunts this estate. So we got modern day shit in a Victorian house. Why does this feel totally weird? Why does this feel like it should have been set when the book wrote in the 1800s? But yet, a lot of it is because the movie takes place in 1994. Because we had to get the beginning scenes of Kurt Cobain dying, like that made any fucking sense. Like,
Yeah.
there's some shit question in this movie. Why is it set in 94? Why is it not set in modern times?
Well, what
Why
threw
is
me off from the trailers was that I didn't know this movie was going to be set in the 90s or anything. Because I kind of figured maybe, well, with the whole like drum set and stuff that Finn Wolfhard has, maybe it was set like an earlier time period or something. Not in fucking mind did I ever think this movie was going to be set in a different, way different time period that really, honestly, has no bearance. Because keep in mind that the movie, the book that it's based off of, it was written in the 1890s, and it was a series of anthology stories that were told throughout. And from what I also heard, it also was around 600 to 700 pages or so, maybe. And essentially, that's kind of structure feels like it could have probably been better told and not an hour and a half movie. As if you're going with a book
Well,
to movie format.
it's not only that, it's also being heard that the writer of the book was actually highly praised for his lack of inconsistency and shit that was not making sense, bringing on more like fear and a fear of the unknown was happening inside the books. In this movie, the directors seem like, okay, we just got the generic basic part, so we're just going to do that in this movie. I don't think the book meant not to make sense like this, because this movie literally tries to not make sense, thinking that's what it meant by the book. God, you guys are
Exactly.
fucking stupid. Whoever the writer and director is of this film, you fucking don't need a job. And it's just a shame that you probably made millions off this. But anyways, getting into other cons. Holy shit! What else do I have to complain
I
about?
will say too that as much as I keep in mind that I hated Terminator Dark Fate, but I will say that in that movie at least, I at least appreciated. I thought that her performance wise wasn't too bad with Mackenzie Davis here. I felt like either she just wasn't right for the part, or she just wasn't really bringing much to this type of performance that I was really keen on. In fact,
Mackenzie Davis is probably the only performance of the movie I didn't care for. I felt like I do see what people did say that she phoned it in. I did kind of see that.
I
She was
did too.
really
Yeah,
in, and some scenes just she felt really awkward. It just her facial expressions didn't make a lot of sense. It felt weird. In fact, she scared me in this one scene that made me like her eye kind of like might have had a twitch and curved in like Pennywise or did some weird shit. It wasn't like something that scared you. It just like maybe it was an accidental thing the way her face looked. And I was like, ugh, that scared me more than anything in this fucking movie. But anyways, um, and if she has a medical condition, I'm sorry. I apologize. Make fun of it. But anyways, she's had 3 strikes because
yeah.
apparently another movie recently that sucked, Dark Fit, fucking shit sucked, and this sucked. This girl is not getting very good
And it's a
roles.
shame because I first seen her in Blade Runner 2049, and that seemed like she was having a good career going ahead of her. But
Well, yes,
I
and other good like big roles, and then like it's suddenly she just I don't know what it was, but like she just lost her prime of acting, and it seems like it's getting worse per performance.
yeah.
But
But,
anyways, now getting into more stuff I couldn't stand in this film. Holy shit, man! What else have we not covered?
uh,
Um,
the whole thing with the fucking the kids, like
no, here's the thing I gotta complain about. This had structure of a story. Here's another structure problem I have. This is an hour and 30 minutes long, 35 minutes.
yeah.
And I don't think I've seen a film in a very long time that I was about hour 5 hour 10 minutes on, and I thought it was still the fucking beginning of the movie. The build up, the meeting build up. It felt fresh. It still felt like it was still there. And then I was like, holy fuck, we haven't even got a middle or a fucking a build up to the reveals and the end. It's just like literally there's no middle or second spot. There's no like what the fuck, where you either got the beginning and the fucking end. That's all you got in this movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck they were doing. They wasted all their time of shit that made no sense, because it goes from kids acting unsettling to suddenly they're cool, and then they go back to unsettling. And this whole shit where little girl can't leave because she might die or she will die. But Wolfenhard was in school and he got kicked out because he beat up some kid, and he's allowed to leave. And then he said he can't leave. What the fuck? Makes
Yeah.
no sense. And
Yeah.
then we fucking start seeing our ghost, and there's a lot of rape. There's a lot of fucking sexual shit, kind of undertones going on in this film. There's this thing with Will Finhart apparently with the caretaker guy, him and the killer dude. He's the killer. We'll just refer to him as that, the villain. Apparently used to disappear on hours on end. Then we see a scene like in a ghost format that he raped this one girl at the beginning who was I guess her last nanny, I guess,
Yeah.
was the last nanny,
Yeah.
and he killed her. And it's weird because why did they need a nanny in the first place if there was a woman who pretty much was calling the shots the whole fucking film, the old lady? Why
Yeah.
did
I
they
didn't
need?
really. Well, in again, there's more we want to talk about, but it's going to get to the ending of it. But yeah, this whole part with the fact that you have a caretaker, this old woman that's there taking care of the kids, it's like, why even have Mackenzie Davis there in the first place, or really have any nanny? And yeah, in the fact that, like you're saying, the first hour or so, it really feels like we're still in the beginning of the fucking movie. Like it's all padded out with a lot of shit that's going on and on. It's almost like they had an idea that maybe they could have done it as like a mini series or something, the way it was structured. But even still, that wouldn't have made sense because it felt like they were trying to go somewhere that would require better like writing as far as the actual structure of it.
Can I also bring up another fucking problem this film I had was okay, they introduce us to Mackenzie Davis's mother at the beginning, who I'm led to believe she suffers from a lot of psychosis. She's in a
Yeah,
hospital, she's painting, and it literally does not make any sense towards the movie because we see her at the beginning, and then we see her at that god fucking awful ending. Like, what was her connection to the story?
yeah, that's you could have built something up with that. It would have made more interesting, but literally has no fucking really bearing with the rest of the film.
Yeah, they tried to add something big on it, and I was like, at this point, this fucking story is so all over the fucking place. I don't know which way is fucking up no more.
Yeah.
I'm fucking lost my cues.
Now
Okay,
here we go.
here we get to the big fucking rant. So we get this fucking part, and it starts out with the whole rape scene with the villain dude who so happens he starts appearing in windows and coming at her and shit. Tell me why the fuck are the ghosts look like a parody ghost from fucking Scary Movie 2? Why do they look like that? Scary Movie 2 did that as a parody. I've never seen ghosts look this fucking stupid, ever. They literally made them look like I thought Ghostbusters were going to come in and suck them in their fucking little vent thing.
Yeah. I was like,
Like,
why did you go with that look?
and he kept disappearing, reappearing, disappearing, reappearing. And then suddenly he kills the woman that killed him. You didn't think about doing that when you suddenly got resurrected, which was also unexplained. Was there some fucking hell book that we didn't know about that resurrect you? And then you didn't kill the lady, but you can kill her now?
Ridiculous.
And we get further into the ending. And you think it's going to end. I heard people bitch about the ending. I thought it's because it was going to end where because she puts the girl in the car and the boy in the car and says, "We got to get out of here. He's here. I believe you. Let's go." Okay, I think okay. This is probably the ending they're talking about. It's going to end generic like this, and this movie is just going to be forgettable. What the fuck was that? She went to a gate and I am fucking lost. Are we in Groundhog's Day? We literally suddenly go into the middle of the movie.
Yeah. The movie literally.
I thought it was going to be Groundhog Day. She was seeing the pictures and all that stuff, but it can't be that because she doesn't say the same shit. The things ain't falling in place the same way.
Yeah. And
So,
this is where I wanted to yell at the fucking screen, where I was just kind of like, where I was watching on my television and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You cannot be serious with this shit.
go
And
back
literally,
into the
yeah,
we kids fucking not. We go back to in the middle of the fucking movie, and these kids are saying weird shit to her. The old lady's saying weird shit to her. She has these drawings in her fucking hand. Her mom sent her in the middle of the fucking movie that's burnt up, and she looks into it, and they were saying, "Oh yeah," and then she starts seeing, which I couldn't barely fucking see him because it was in daylight, but see him in mirrors, and then she's freaking out to the kids, and the kids are like, "Yeah, you're always going to be crazy." So then what is it? Groundhog's Day? Is she crazy? What the fuck is going on here? And then I'm like, okay, surely there's going to do some big reveal real quick before the credits roll. And the fuck?
All
Some
it
Queen
does.
music playing. Oh, yeah, no. Before that, we suddenly go, she looks in this painting, she gets sucked into it pretty much by continuity through her eyes, and she's in that fucking area where her mom's in a hospital in the sane asylum in a pool, and then her mom turns around and she screams, and then we fucking see this Queen of the Damn music playing in the background, and we see some fingers rubbing against the fucking wall. I'm like, what the most insulting shit I ever fucking seen. The fact that this made this basically made audiences around the world dumb. It's an insult to writers. It's an insult that you're making more money than me. You get to make shit like this. If I did something incredibly bad like this, if this is equivalent to me at my job and me working half a day and then saying, "Oh, credits roll, I'm going home." This crap, you're a millionaire. I'm sorry, man. I can understand sometimes it could be tough and then some shit just does not work out. You have timelines, shit fails, it happens. This was uncalled for. This was no ending, no fucking ending. This
Yeah.
movie, that's it.
It
It
was a
just ended.
big it was a big
Now,
middle finger to the rest of the film in context wise.
and went boo, 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 over with.
Yeah.
Seriously, fucking Matt, this is the worst fucking ending I've ever seen. It is so bad that it's incomplete. And it made
It
no fucking sense.
This is the worst ending I've seen. Now, not counting Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, because that's on a different level. This is the worst, just regular horror film endings, just standalone horror films, probably since The Devil Inside, because that film pissed me off so bad. But at least with The Devil Inside, I can give it some. The only thing I can say is that at least that was an ending, even though it was a pitiful ending and it was a cop out. It still was an ending that worked in context with the rest of the story. It just failed because they cut it off.
Now it's on my mind right now. I do feel like Phoenix Forgotten's ending is a lot better than this. At least it fucking wrote me out the fucking ending. This one literally didn't fucking it's like the reels fucking ran out and said, "Hey, did anybody got that music video from Queen of the Damned? Just have some woman rubbing on the wall. Yeah, let's do that. Some scratching the walls while we hear some music going dun, 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 dun. Fucking 80s music, 90s. Like I thought Korn was gonna fucking start saying "Falling Away from Me." What the fuck? In a Victorian looking fucking world? Well, it's not really Victorian because it's modern times, but that's where I don't understand the setting because it's fucking very Victorian when they're there, and then it's modern when she's talking to her fucking friend who makes no fucking sense to be in this movie.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
I
saying,
was
man. Like,
with the little girl, never mind, I'm not quitting. And she keeps doing that. Lady, you're gonna quit or you're not gonna quit. You have no fucking reason to be there. The kids treat you like shit. Quit. And the movies could have just rolled the credits and probably would have fucking savored that fucking ending. At
yeah,
least it was,
exactly. I agree. I guarantee you, we would have had a better fucking ending than that because literally, this ending, it literally was a big fuck you, and basically took like you said, it took a gun and then blew the rest of the movie's brains out. Like the rest of the movie didn't even fucking matter. And that right there is not only an insult to fucking horror films, but as bad filmmaking in general. In the words of Al Pacino from The Irishman, the part where he's ranting with his teamsters, "You dumb motherfuckers."
yeah. And I'll tell you right now, I don't think you'll ever hear from me and Justin unless something else comes about. saying this director and writer gets another fucking job. This should fucking make them go back to fucking McDonald's, flipping burgers, find another career. But anyways, I don't think I've ever had a flatline ever fucking have pros in it. This is literally how bad the ending was. I literally have pros in a movie I'm giving an F to. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to give it right now. This is a flat line on the Film Phreeks meter. Fucking insulting.
This is definitely also a fucking flat line on the Film Phreeks meter as well, too. And that's sad because any things I would have had for it, it took it away from me. It was basically like stabbing me in the back. And then after I was kind of like really appreciating some things and just basically letting me go with it. I was like, all right, fuck you. I'm done. All right. Yeah. So for those of you who've also seen The Turning, let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. And feel free to check out some reviews here on our channel. And stay safe. And we'll see you in our next review. We'll see you later.